Hello everyone. Today I'm at Sunderland Cemetery in Sunderland, sometimes known as Grangetown Cemetery. So I thought I'd just go for a little wander. It's rather windy and there's a chance it might rain again, but it's a little bit brighter, so I'll just come down this particular section because I don't think I've done a video over here. It's a bit more recent, so I've just been doing an errand for a friend, so I thought I'd pop here. And I just noticed this one here. In proud memory of Arthur John Witherington, Sergeant Pilot of the RAF, VP, I'm not too sure what the VP means, killed on operational flight 16th of September 1941, aged 20 years, second son of AS and C Witherington. And then over here, sadly, in proud memory of Dennis March Witherington, I think that's private of the Loyal Regiment, killed in action in Italy 15th of February 1944, ages 24 years, their oldest son. So poor Catherine and Arthur sadly lost two sons in World War II. Nice to see them remembered. We're actually close to Wright Road. And in this section down here, a lot of the great and the good are buried. Not from back in the mid-1800s when the cemetery was open, but sort of towards the end of the 1800s. Then the first half of 1900, that's where a lot of the great and the good were buried. I've seen lots of Edwin Smythe on the walk up here. There's a great surname. That's Edna Proom. And then there's Edward S. Proom, Master Mariner, and Mary Cook Proom. I've got a feeling this family might either be from Holland or from Essex, because there's one at me and Knowles and it's bound to be a relation. But there's a little mosaic. I was just looking to see if it's an Edwin Smythe. Yes, if you're there, see, he doesn't always have his lettering, like his name inscribed, but he does there. So that's another Edwin Smythe. There was hundreds of them. It's got very distinct lettering, so I'll just give you an example. If you're ever in any of the big Sunderland cemeteries, it says, it's that sort of lettering he does. He's different styles, but that's quite a common one. We'll have a go and look down at the great and the good. See if there's any distinct surnames come across. And there's a story here. We've got Second Lieutenant or Lieutenant H. Pater of the West Yorkshire Regiment, and he attended the Royal Flying Corps. He died 17th of April 1917, aged 29. So there's actually two mentions of it. He is actually buried here. And at the back, in loving memory of Hugh Pater, 2nd Lieutenant, West Yorkshire Regiment and Royal Flying Corps, killed April the 17th, 1917, aged just 29, in his keeping. And also the Reverend S. Pater, late Rector of Sunderland. Now, by coincidence, next to him is Captain P.A. Kirkup of the Durham Light Infantry of the Royal Flying Corps, who died 11th of April 1917, and he is also mentioned on this particular family memorial there. So they've both got normal headstones, and at a later point they've come along and Commonwealth's Graves have put one up for these two members of the Royal Flying Corps. They were both from Sunderland, And by coincidence, they were both at two different air bases or airfields outside Lincoln, training. Now, Mr. P.A. Kirkup, the Philip Kirkup, he died on the 11th of April, and Hugh Pater wrote a letter to his mother a few days later to tell her about the death of this gentleman that he knew. But sadly, on the day Hugh sent the letter, he had an accident at the airfield he was at. So the two, and that was like the last letter he ever sent. I've done a story called The Last Letter. So the two of them, they both knew each other. They're both from Sunderland. They both died within a week, a few days of each other at an airfield in Lincoln. And by coincidence, they're buried next to each other, which is quite a coincidence because there's three huge cemeteries in Sunderland. And obviously people had different religions. Some might have had a prepaid grave already. And they've just ended up being buried in adjacent graves when all the cemetery isn't in order of like the dates and so on. So quite a sad story, but two brave men who were members of the Royal Flying Corps both died in tragic accidents. There's a few Commonwealth graves, ones scattered amongst all of these. There's a surname, Pride, great name. And then you're starting to see some more distinct headstones down here. Look at this. Alderman George New. He was a member of the Borough Council for 31 years, a Justice of Peace for 20 years, and a member of the River Weir Commission. Prominent in all public works, he occupied many positions of importance in the town. Upright character, tenacity of purpose, and unanswering devotion to duty. So there's a lot of like justices of the peace and local bigwigs who are buried in this particular section. As you can see how the memorials get bigger and taller. And look at this. An affectionate remembrance of Rosa, beloved wife of Sir Walter Rane, KT. She died April 11th, 1929. The gift of God is eternal. I don't actually know anything about those two. As I said, I know a few particular stories, but obviously there's thousands of headstones just in this cemetery alone, so there's always something I've never come across before. Look at that. Captain Charles Lambert, who died suddenly at Darlington November 1st, 1929, aged 67 years. The dear husband of Isabella Morgan Lambert. That's a fine memorial. Possibly a Smythe. And then here, this is in loving memory of William Lang, beloved husband of Margaret Ann Snellgar, who sadly drowned off Roker, September 18th, 1891, aged 30 years. And then below it's also Thomas Tinmouth Snellgar, son of the above, who died in Mesopotamia, July the 11th, 1917, aged 32 years. It's modern day Iraq. So probably he was probably out fighting the Ottomans in the Great War. And then also there's also James, beloved husband of Margaret Ann Pepler, lost at sea through enemy action on December the 25th. So he died Christmas Day 1914 in the SS Therese Hayman, aged 56 years. And now the sun's come out properly. Going to a little older section, I think we'll have actually. Is that surname? Cucci. Now here is another Edwin Smythe. Now look at that. Elizabeth Robinson of Cambridge died 19th of May 1933 in her 98th year. Don't know how he got all these done. Kringle. It's got a school, somebody called Kringle. I think I've just seen him. So Walter Rain, Knight, beloved husband of Violet G. Rain. I'll have to Google him or have a look in the newspapers. Elizabeth Rain, the beloved wife of John Rain of 4 Clifton Villas, Sunderland. I don't actually know where Clifton Villas is in Sunderland. I've never heard of it before. I don't know if it's still there. Probably some big house, possibly Ashbrook, or that's a grand memorial. And look at these two here, absolutely huge. That's John Priestman, JP of Roker. He helped, a generous benefactor to Sunderland and Durham County. He helped with the Sunderland Minster back in the 1930s, and also had the Priestman building, which I used to go to university at, on the Green Terrace. Let's have a look, see what this Commonwealth Graves Memorial is. K.V. Milburn of the Royal Army Medical Corps, died 1940, age 41. And that's his family. It looks probably quite well-to-do family. Let's turn the camera because it's quite busy in here. There's another alderman, Ralph Brown Arneson. That's a big anchor. Then Alderman William Sanderson JP. Very impressive down here. Softly. There's members of the Shand family, I think that's Irish. Perhaps another huge cemetery. Not as big as Bishop Wearmouth. Just seeing a rabbit there. What's this here? Robert Sanderson Stelling, who died at Ventnor. Is that the Isle of Wight? 1900, aged 28 years. I wonder if it's any relation to Jeff Stelling. Hartlepool's only about 20 miles away. Oh, look at this one. Frances Margaret Clifford entered into rest March 11th, 1933, age 8. It's a beautiful little lettering. I think that might be Edwin Smythe as well. That's a great surname. Zastrow, or Zastro, burial place of John and Mary Jane Zastrow. Sadly, Joanna, who died September the 22nd, 1901, she's just aged 18 years old. She is not dead, but sleepeth. and his son died who was 28. Another one died who was only 23. Possibly East European origins. And just there's just another. Yeah, another Edwin Smythe. Now look at that. I'd love to see a price list, but I've never found what we would charge for something like this. To the memory of Jemima Minnie, beloved wife of Michael Beale. It's beautiful, that. It's what he's known for, his mosaics. And there again, if you ever want to see it on the side, Edwin Smythe. An angel. Trying to see if I can recognise anybody. That's Barkell. Had a son who died at Kellow Colliery. I think it's over Durham way, isn't it? Kellow. In loving memory of Robert Redmond, who died at Bizerta, 1909, until the resurrection morn. It's a place I've never heard of. Bizerta, I'd have to Google that. Possibly a mariner. It's not, was it not 1909? I just think we'll get one more headstone in. There's a Homer. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And one up here, it's a great surname, Rock. It's loving memory of Susanna Annison Rock. Trust that the sun to be out now. Prefer it when the sun's out. Doing a video, especially with the blue sky. Right, I am going to leave it there. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy that quick tour of a section of Sunderland Cemetery, please give it a like. And if you want to click on the subscribe, it'll help grow the channel. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time, wherever that may be. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.